Hello everyone and welcome to this Personal Statement Tips webinar. My name is Kirsty Patterson and I work as a Student Recruitment Coordinator here at the University of the West of Scotland, and I'm also joined by my colleague Mary McCusker, who's going to help with any questions that we have at the end of the presentation. Speaking of questions, if you do have any at all, please do feel free, if you're joining us on Zoom, to pop them into the Q&A box, or if you're joining us on Facebook, please pop them into the comments and we'll do our very best to answer them at the end. But without further ado, let's get started. Today's presentation is going to cover what is a personal statement, what to write about, how to write it, personal statement do's and don'ts, 5 things to boost your personal statement, and some key things to remember. So let's get going. So what is a personal statement? Well, the personal statement is a key piece of your UCAS application. In actual fact, it is the most important part of your application. It's your chance to really tell us, a university, why you'd like to study a particular course or subject, and what skills and experience you have that emphasises your passion for your chosen field. Try to think of your personal statement a bit like a cover letter for a job application. This personal statement is your first introduction to a university, so you will want to make the best first impression so that hopefully you'll either get a place on the course or you'll be invited to interview and such likes. At UWS in particular, our admissions team first look at your current qualifications and the qualifications that you're currently working towards, and if you're on track to meet the minimum entry requirements for the programme. After that, our admission staff will next look at your personal statement. If it is suitable, we will then process your application onto the next stage. Sometimes this can be an offer, sometimes it's an invitation to an interview or audition if it's for a performance degree or something like that. All of this communication will be through your UCAS hub. If your personal statement is not suitable, you will be rejected at this stage and therefore unable to apply to the same programme again that year through clearing and such likes. The biggest difference between a cover letter that you may have written in the past and a personal statement is that you would personalise a cover letter for each individual job that you apply for. However, you cannot do this with a personal statement. You're only allowed to write one, and this needs to be applicable to all of the programmes that you are applying for. Now, this can be a little bit tricky if you are applying to different courses, but we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go through today's presentation. What to write about is the most thing that people find most difficult when writing a personal statement. What exactly am I supposed to include in my personal statement? And it can be a bit daunting, but from personal experience and working with other students, I've found that it's best to break it down into individual sections and it becomes a lot easier. Universities want to know why you're interested in a subject, so tell them why you are applying, include your ambitions as well as what interests you about the subject. Remember, again, you can only write one personal statement, so you should not show preference to a particular university in your statement. If you're only applying to one university, then of course you can tell them why you're interested in their uni, but if it's multiple universities, it is better to not show a preference. Doing your research before you start your personal statement is super important. Have a look at course descriptions and identify the qualities, skills and experience it requires. You can then use these to help you decide what to write about. Think about what makes you suitable for the programme that you are applying to. This could be relevant experience, skills or achievements you've gained from education, work, volunteering or other activities such as dancing and football. Did you perhaps take part in a higher education taster course Have you done any placements or summer schools or something similar? You should include it. This shows that you're really sure about this programme and your commitment to it. You should also mention any relevant employment experience or volunteering that you have done. If the work experience placements that you've done are not 100% relevant to the programme you're applying to, think about the transferable skills you will have gained from them that will be required for the programme you're hoping to study, and tell us about them. For example, if you're thinking about applying to nursing, you will need to be a good listener, you'll need to be confident, you'll need to have good timekeeping skills. Now, we wouldn't have expected you to work in a hospital setting at this present moment, but you may be able to tell us about how you've developed these transferable skills via other jobs and placements. Going to university also requires commitment, and this can be demonstrated through your dedication to activities or hobbies that you may have. For example, Girls' Brigade, Boys' Brigade, Scouts, Duke of Edinburgh, Young Enterprise, sports or clubs that you are committed to attending on a regular basis. From these activities, you will have gained and worked on many transferable skills, so think carefully about these and how these could apply to the skills and qualities that are required for the particular programme that you are applying to. If you have any personal circumstances which have affected your educational performance, outline them in your personal statement. For example, this might be something that caused you to miss school, such as a physical or mental health condition, or caring for another family member. If your personal circumstances have affected your qualification choices, you can mention this in your personal statement. For example, a change of school, which did not offer the same options, or having gained non-different qualifications and skills experienced to many other people, for example, through the armed forces. Also, if you have suffered financial hardship during your studies, for example, receiving a bursary to cover the cost of your education, you can also let the university know about that here. So your personal statement should be unique. There is no definite format for you to follow. We simply have some guidelines. But most importantly, it is your personal statement, so it needs to be just that, personal. In order to write your personal statement, you need to know or have a fair idea of what programmes you are applying to. So you should have started your research to see which universities offer these programmes, and you should know what skills and qualities and experience they are looking for in an applicant. When doing this research, it can be a good idea to note down some bullet points of the key things that courses and universities are looking for. You can then start bullet pointing examples of how you meet these requirements. This will then help you when you start structuring it all together to include an introduction, a main body, and a conclusion. Your introduction should be interesting and hold the reader's attention. The main body of your personal statement should be structured in an order that is most relevant to what the unis are looking for. You should bear this in mind when you're writing your bullet points when you're doing your research. You may also want to number your bullet points in order of importance, and your conclusion should reinforce your commitment, enthusiasm, and skills. We also recommend that you write your personal statement on a Word document, as the UCAS system does not recognise spelling and punctuation errors. You can then copy and paste your final draft into your UCAS application once you are satisfied with it. Writing in a Word document also means that you can keep an eye on your characters and lines easily on Word. And now this is important because in your personal statement, you have a maximum of 4,000 characters, including spaces and blank lines, or a maximum of overall 47 lines. That's 4,000 characters or 47 lines. We also recommend that you write in an enthusiastic and conscious concise and natural style, nothing too complex. Try to stand out, but do be careful with humour, quotes or anything unusual, just in case the admissions tutor doesn't quite have the same sense of humour as you. We wouldn't want this to affect your chances of getting into uni. Proofread aloud and make sure you leave enough time to enable others to check over for you. Sometimes you often don't spot your own mistakes easily, especially when you've read something time and time again, but others are more likely to notice the errors as it's fresh to them. So give it to your teacher, a parent or carer, or even a neighbour, somebody that you trust that can check it over for you and point out any mistakes that you may have missed yourself. So here are some important personal statement do's and don'ts. So let's start with the do's. Do show your strengths and outline your ideas clearly. Do be enthusiastic. If you show you're interested in a course, it may help you to get a place. Do expect to produce several drafts of your personal statement before being totally happy with it. And do ask people you trust for their feedback on your personal statement. Some personal statement don'ts. Don't be tempted to buy or copy another person's personal statement or also share your own with others. All personal statements are checked for similarity, and if your personal statement is flagged as similar to other applicants, it could negatively affect your chances of being offered a place at university. I can't exaggerate that enough. Please do not copy somebody else's personal statement. Please also don't exaggerate in your personal statement. If you do, you may get caught out in an interview when asked to elaborate on an interesting achievement that you've mentioned in your personal statement that may not be 100% accurate. Please also don't 100% rely on a spell checker, as it doesn't always pick everything up. Please do proofread as many times as possible. Please also don't leave your personal statement to the last minute. Your personal statement may seem rushed and important information could be left out. And please don't let spelling and grammatical errors spoil your personal statement. So what are 5 things that you can do to boost your personal statement? Well, you can get involved at school. Speak to friends, speak to teachers, and see what you might be able to get involved in as part of your school community, or try your school's newsletter, intranet and notice boards. This could be anything from a student council rep or prefect to a position of responsibility in a club that you're part of, or mentoring younger students, or helping out at school events. Remember to make it count on your application. You need to be able to reflect critically on your experience, not simply state what you did. So, from these experiences, what skills have you developed? What did you achieve? And how does this help to illustrate that you're a strong applicant for the course? Why don't you try to pick up some new skills? Are there any supplementary skills that you could add to your collection to make you a stronger applicant for a course? Don't take on something completely new just for the sake of it, or venture too far from your existing interests, but extending your subject knowledge into a new avenue can be beneficial. If, for example, you're applying to a computer science course, why don't you try to get to grips with the principles of a new coding language, or get yourself along to a university taster lecture to get a new take on a subject that you're familiar with, or one perhaps that you're not familiar with as well. Why don't you try to reframe your current experience? So another example here, if you're applying to a business course but have more experience in drama and theatre than corporate organisations, your experience is not redundant if you're able to reflect on how the skills you've developed relate back to the university subject that you are applying to. It's all about how you explain this experience in your personal statement. In the example above, a business applicant with experience in musical theatre can talk about how they have extensive experience working in a group, working towards a deadline, and communicating material in a convincing manner. framed properly, an experience which isn't directly related to the field you are applying to could make an admissions tutor sit up and take notice. Volunteering is a good opportunity to show some initiative and gain new skills. These can include mentoring, event organisation, project planning, working in a team, and so much more. Plus, it's a noble pursuit that you would get lots out of. Are there any issues that you rant about regularly or have a particular passion for? So why don't you see what related local events or groups are around you and get involved in making a change? You really would be surprised at just how many volunteering opportunities pop up when you begin to look for them, from activities attached to local schools and hospitals, or religious, sporting and other community events. You're absolutely bound to find something near you. Why don't you get reading? Get ahead by educating yourself about the field that you are applying to and beyond what you're learning. Research on university websites or speak to your subject teacher about any must-read books or texts designed to help bridge the gap between your current studies and degree level study. Plus, there are thousands of specialist blogs, websites, blogs, YouTube channels, Twitter accounts that you can follow to further connect with a subject. Why don't you pick a few to follow to get a comprehensive overview, keep up to date on the latest news, and gain different perspectives? You never know, something that you watch or listen to might be a useful example to refer to in your personal statement, or also may pop into your head if your mind goes blank during an interview. So, the key things to remember when writing your personal statement. The first is to be yourself. Show your enthusiasm, motivation, and focus on the subjects that you are applying to. Set yourself a schedule. It will take longer than you think to write your personal statement, and it is important that you allow time to review your personal statement once you've finished writing it. You have a maximum of 4,000 characters or 47 lines, which may sound like a lot, but once you get to writing, it really isn't. So please bear that in mind when you're writing your personal statement. Remember to prioritise the key points in order of what the universities are looking for in an applicant. Give the UCAS website a visit. They have lots of useful tips on their website, and they even have a tool that helps you begin the personal statement writing process, and you can find that on the UCAS Hub. And why not attend some open days where you'll be able to pick up lots of further information, hints and tips on what the universities might be looking for in an applicant. Some universities are hosting virtual open days at the moment. Some are also holding in-person open days. It's just a case of researching on university websites to find out about the information sessions that are being held at the moment. So some key dates when it comes to UCAS. The first is the most important, and it isn't really a date, I suppose, but that is that applications are open now. So if you haven't already, you can start writing your personal statement now. For anyone who was interested in the applications to medicine, dentistry, veterinary medicine, veterinary science, and courses at Oxford and Cambridge, unfortunately, that deadline has now passed. It was the 15th of October. So if you were interested in those subjects, you now will be looking at next year for applications. However, for everybody else, the Equal Consideration application deadline is the 26th of January 2022. Some other UCAS options that are available to people is UCAS Extra, and that is the 25th of February 2022. The last date for applications before clearing is the 30th of June 2022, and clearing opens on the 5th of July 2022. And if you'd like to find out more about what Extra is and what clearing is, you're more than welcome to head on over to the Student Recruitment YouTube page, where we did an Applying to UCAS webinar last week, but that is available to view on the Student Recruitment YouTube page and also on the UWS Facebook page. If you scroll back the videos, you will be able to find it there. Now, speaking of information sessions and open days and such likes, we at UWS have a few coming up. The next one to mention is the next webinar, which is on the 24th of November at 12:15, which is all about student life at UWS, and my lovely colleague Mary will be taking that one on next week. So if you'd like to find out more about UWS and what it's like to be a student here, please do pop along to that webinar. Again, you'll be able to sign up via Zoom, or you will be able to watch it over Facebook Live at the time. But again, if the time doesn't suit, you will be able to view the webinar on the Student Recruitment YouTube page after the fact, and also on the UWS Facebook page as well. The UWS Open Day, unfortunately, has now passed. It was virtual back in October. However, we have been having physical on-campus experience days throughout the month of November as well. Paisley is coming up this weekend on the 20th, it's Saturday, and it is on from 12 until 4 p.m. So if you're interested in coming along, please do check out our website to sign up now. And our Lanarkshire campus physical event experience day is the 27th of November. That's Saturday 27th, again from 12 p.m. until 4 p.m. And again, just look on our website, you'll be able to find the registration links for those events as well. Also, speaking of our website, you will be able to find our fantastic digital prospectus. You're able to create and personalise your very own digital prospectus and download it. You can go onto the website, or if you have a chance, you can scan the QR code on screen, which will take you directly to the page where you can download your very own digital prospectus. Again, on our website, you can find out more about UWS as an institution, our campuses, our facilities, our services, and much more on our website. I've also included the contact details there of our fantastic Ask team. If you perhaps don't think of a question at the end of this presentation after the fact, you can get in touch with our wonderful Ask team via email at ask@uws.ac.uk, or you can give them a call on 0800 027 1000. But as we come to the end of this personal statement presentation, I hope you found it somewhat useful and helpful. And if we do have any questions, Mary, I shall now take the time to answer them.
I don't see any as yet, Kirsty. I've just put up a few useful links, which basically reiterated what you said about key dates and our digital prospectus. There's nothing come through the Q&A or the chat.
There's nothing coming through Facebook either.
Okay.
So if nobody has any questions, then I think we'll wrap it up there for today. But as I've said, if you do think of any questions after the fact, you can get in touch with our wonderful Ask team, who'll be able to help you out. Okay, well, thank you very much. Oh, we do have a question come in. My apologies. Regarding your personal statement, are you allowed 10% over or 10% under 4,000 characters? So you are allowed under your characters, I do believe, but you're not allowed over. It is a maximum of 4,000 for your personal statement.
Okay. Do you want me to type that in? Oh, no, that's fine. That's done. Yeah. Okay.
Just leave it another wee second just in case anything else comes in. No, nothing's comes in, so we'll just leave it there. And as we said, please do get in touch with our Ask team if you do think of any questions after the fact. But thank you very much, everybody, for joining this presentation. I wish you all the best in writing your personal statement, and we really do hope to see some of you here at UWS in the future. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.